everybody, Yvonne Williams here with Back to Earth Creations, and in this video I want to show you guys how I am going to paint these horns that are made out of, oh gosh, what size was this? I guess these are the 10 millimeter EVA foam. They have been primed with black Plastidip, and you can see I've got a couple of different sizes here, but I've just mixed together on my palette some Liquitex Gloss Heavy Gel, gel medium, and then some warm white Folk Art Artist's Pigment. And I want to get like a really nice like bone color going on here. And I'm just mixing this together with like a popsicle stick or craft stick or whatever you have. It's very important to mix in the dog hair. No, seriously though, you probably don't want to get any dog hair stuck in this. But I'm just, and I only put in about like maybe a quarter size puddle of my color, but this gel medium does such an incredible job of distributing that pigment. And I used probably 2 tablespoons worth of the gel medium. I'm actually just going to take a very stiff bristled chip brush, and I'm going to hold her by the base just very lightly, and I'm going to dab and then just brush. Now I already dremeled some texture into this, but oh, and it's flinging paint just everywhere, so I guess I'm going to aim down. But I already dremeled some texture, but this chip brush going all consistently in one direction is going to do so much to add more texture to this. And then something that we can do is just take a tool like this one here and stab it up into our brush, or into our horn, and that gives us a little bit of a hands-free painting experience. And you can kind of glob the stuff on at first, like that. Let me see if I can't zoom in for you. But yeah, just go ahead and glob it on, and then kind of gently redistribute it. Careful to brush in that texture. This first layer, I'm mostly just worried about filling in any gaps, any little nooks and crannies. But you can see that's really giving us some super nice texture. Make sure you don't have any just little unreasonable chunks of paint laying around. Like, you want it to look like it grew, you know, so like think like a rhinoceros horn or a fingernail, right? You know, you really want that texture of the way that the keratin grew, the grain of growth. And then sometimes that'll happen, and that's a thing. It came just right off of our little tool there. So I'm going to go ahead and just scrape off the excess and just start redistributing it. It's not the end of the world. It was feeling kind of rickety, so I'm not too surprised that that happened. And just giving it a good layering of texture. And there we are. Now I'm going to set this one kind of carefully off to the side. And I'm going to come back and do secondary layers on that piece. And I'm going to just keep using this up on my other horns. And then I'll meet you all right back here to do the second layer. Okay, y'all, so we're back, and this has dried for the most part. It's still relatively, it's got a little bit of tack to it, but I can go ahead and just put it back on my little tool, and we can accomplish a second coat. And I go ahead and do, really gonna get that on there, do like typically I do like sometimes 4 coats just to really demolish the illusion, or to eliminate any possibility of someone noticing that it was made out of foam. So I don't want anyone to be able to see the seam or any foam texture that might not have been completely dremeled off or anything like that. This Liquitex gloss like covering that we're doing here is so forgiving. Like, I mean, it will cover up little pox marks, all sorts of stuff. So this right here, you can see like there's that little divot right there. We can actually take this and goop it in and then wipe it off, and it'll fill in. It behaves a little bit like a hole filler. It can take a couple of layers, but you just have to put it in and then very lightly brush over it. It'll take a couple of layers, but it'll become basically invisible. And I mean, with natural horns like this, where you're not too worried about keeping it super sleek and fancy, you know, you can have some natural divots and stuff. That's completely normal. Well, for the horns of a fantasy creature. So here's the difference then between 1 coat and 2 coats. So you can only imagine it gets more and more opaque as you add layers. And then I go through and I just paint it up with acrylics. You know, I usually do a little bit of blending down at the bottom, but I wanted to just do a quick video about this technique of covering the foam in the acrylic paint and heavy gloss, heavy gel medium. So if y'all have any questions, comments, or ideas, it kind of looks like a little shark fin. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, or ideas, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a message down below and let me know what you're up to, you know, in the crafty world. If you enjoy my free tutorials and would like to support the creation of more of them, as well as participate in my fairy house giveaways and monthly craft crates and different things like that, please check me out on Patreon. Again, there'll be links down in the video description below, as well as possibly, if I remember to, a little thing on one side of the screen or the other popping up that'll take you to a step-by-step guide on how to become a patron and what the different perks and things are. So thank you guys so much and have an awesome day. Happy crafting. Bye.